so bold. Your YouTube world is the purest gold. With every video, fresh and new, you light my days with joy so true. Oh, Vicky Marie, your voice, your charm, your spark, your flair, keep me glued beyond compare. From laughs to lessons, all you share. No other channel shines so rare. The comments buzz, your fans agree. We're all here for your energy. A loyal crowd, you're ahead of the game. So here's my thanks from me to you for all the fun and wisdom too. Keep creating, stay the same. Vicky Marie, you've won the game.
Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. And as we're coming up to the new year, if you are new to my channel, if you've just found this channel, if you like true crime videos, a little bit of waffle, but no AI, real person talking about crime, then please like and subscribe. Like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any future and press the notification bell so you don't miss future notifications about this case, about little Celeste. I say little Celeste, well, she was little. She was 14 years old when she disappeared and was very sadly found deceased in the front of a Tesla car, in the front boot, or the frunk as they call it, belonging to David, who is a famous singer, a lot older than her. She was a minor. I think she was 14 when she actually went missing. It's actually not clear, 13, 14. We haven't got a clear timeline in this case yet. Now, it's been going on quite a long time, hasn't it? I mean, what was the date? I think it was it September when she was reported missing? And she was found, oh no, it wasn't September even. We don't actually know when Celeste really disappeared. Was she just been missing briefly, or had she been missing a long time? We don't know, do we? Let's see, I'm trying to look for the date. Anyway, it'll come up as we go along. What I'm going to do at first is I'm just going to give you, sorry, my pressing all the wrong buttons here. I'm going to give you an update about the latest, because nobody so far has been charged with this girl's death. She was found in the front trunk of the Tesla that belonged to David ages ago now, weeks and weeks ago. And so far, nobody has been charged with her murder. But according to TMZ, who do seem to, have their finger on the pulse with investigations within sort of the Hollywood area and roundabout, to do with singers or actors, etc. They say that sources tell them that there may well be about to be an indictment in this case. So let's hope so. Now, indictments in America, this has happened. And it's quite confusing, isn't it, the way it works? Sometimes I'm going to try and look at how it works in America. So normally people have to be indicted, don't they, by a grand jury who decide whether there's enough evidence to charge them, or a judge decides that. And then the police are given sort of the permission to go and arrest them, if you like, and the charges are made. So I want to see, we'll be looking at how far that has gone in this case. So apparently there has been a sort of hush-hush indictment going on. Now, there are different kinds of indictments. Grand juries, there's a grand jury that's investigating and deciding if somebody's going to be indicted, or there's grand juries that just sort of accumulate the evidence so far, like almost information gathering sort of grand juries. And according to TMZ, this grand jury has been doing just that, collecting evidence, but they have heard that it's going to lead to an indictment. So we're going to look at it and analyse it as best we can. It's been this case, this poor girl, it has been a very confusing case with a lot of, well, we don't even know if it's false information, because it's one of those cases that law enforcement are keeping tight-lipped about. We don't know if a lot of the things that have leaked out were true or weren't true. Was she dismembered? Then there was rumours she was pregnant. Then there's been rumours that David went off to, for hours to some mysterious place that nobody knows why he went there. Then there's rumours that David's sort of entourage might be implicated. Like, could he have, if he did do it, could he have done it alone? Was his manager implicated? Were the people around him implicated? So it's still very, very unclear. And at one point, I just stopped talking about it because it just, became a whole big rumour mill. And it still is, to be fair, up to a point. But I just wanted to bring you this information that, according to TMZ, their sources, they're confident, and we all hope that finally, is there about to be an indictment in this case? Because it's horrible, isn't it, to think that it's gone all this time and nobody has been held to account in any way, shape or form so far for Celeste's death. And that is one thing we do know for certain, is this young girl is dead. She was found in a frunk of a Tesla. And that car is registered to David. So we do know those things for sure. Now, let's just talk about how she was discovered. So this Tesla that belonged to David was towed away it was parked badly somewhere up in the Hollywood Hills there, and taken off to wherever they take cars to, and a smell was noticed coming from the car, and the car was opened, or didn't. No, that's right. They rang the police. They didn't try and open it. They reported to the police that there was terrible smell coming off from this car, and the police came, put their forensic tent up, and did what they had to do to get into the car, and discovered this poor girl in there. So somebody has killed this girl. She didn't put herself in there. Then there was some speculation that maybe she died of a drug overdose and was put in the car while they decided what to do with her. You know, not that she was murdered, but anyway, it has been declared a homicide now, so that theory's out the window. She didn't do anything to herself, either deliberately or inadvertently. This case is being treated as a homicide, just nobody's been arrested for it yet. So that's when it all started. Now, then it resulted that the person who owned this car, this David, unfortunately, we do need to have a look at him. I'm looking forward to, if he is guilty, looking forward to when he's put in the hellhole and I don't have to look at him anymore. He's quite a creepy guy, I think. You know, and I was thinking about it. Sorry, I just need to upload a photo. I'll upload the thumbnail. It's so easy for young girls to be manipulated. I mean, he just looks creepy to me, but you know, she's 14 years old, maybe even only 13 when she first started seeing this man. So easy to manipulate young girls, isn't it? That's why a lot of these kind of people, you know, because you know, David is certainly a bit of a sort of, if you listen to his music, not that I listen to his music, but I've read his lyrics, they're very dark. I've seen him being interviewed. He's like what I would call a pseudo-intellectual. As an older person watching him talk, I just think, God, he's full of absolute bullcrap. But you can see that a young girl listening to him talk, especially because he's famous and he'd probably got lots of money, certainly a lot more money than Celeste had. Easy to impress, and he uses a lot of big words that don't quite fit with what he's saying. You know, he thinks he's an intellectual, but anybody who's a bit older and wiser would see through him straight away. But unfortunately, young girls don't, do they? So that's why these sort of predators pick on young girls, because young girls are easy to manipulate, easy to impress. When you're 13, 14, you don't know much. He'd come over as a much older, wiser man, you know, lavishing money on her, attention on her. He was just becoming really famous. You know, it's just so easy. I mean, God, it's like shooting ducks in a row, really, for a man like that to, you know, win over a young girl like Celeste. It's very sad, isn't it, really? And of course, she's ended up, she's dead, bless her. And we don't know how or why it happened. He'd written some very strange songs about Celeste. He'd written some very strange songs in general and made some very strange videos. So is he a psychopath, plain and simple? And was he propped up by his management and by his entourage? Because he was just literally, I mean, he was famous, but he was on the verge of becoming really famous. He had a world tour lined up. He was coming to Spain, because those of you who don't know, I'm based in Spain. He was coming to Spain. He was going all over Europe. He was at an American tour, and then he was supposed to be touring all over Europe this year. Of course, he had to cancel all that because he's under suspicion of murder. He has been named as a suspect by the police, but no arrests yet. It's very frustrating, isn't it? But I suppose, you know, the police, they're just taking their time to get it right. They're not in any rush. They've got them in their sights. I don't know. But are other young girls at risk of every day this man is walking free? And I was thinking, I wonder how he celebrated his Christmas. And now we've got New Year coming up. Will he be at a New Year party? You know, what did he do? Did he celebrate Christmas with his friends, with his family? Just wonder, don't you, what these psychos do in their downtime? But alleged psychos, I should say. And of course, the other very shocking thing that came out was that David has had an incinerator in his house. We talked about that in another video. One of those things that could, are used on farms and could burn a body. Why did he have one of those in his home? Why? It just makes you wonder if that was the plan for Celeste, if she was put in the front just to get her out of the house while they decided what they were going to do with the body. So I think it's, just shocking. What happened to this young girl? What terror did she go through? And now she is no longer on this earth. I hope she's at peace with all the other young girls that were murdered over this year. Anyway, okay, so that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at what TMZ's latest video is, what they're, that they're saying that it's likely that he's about to be indicted. I certainly hope so. Anyway, just before I say that, I just want to say, as usual, thank you so much to everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Very special thank you to my members, and a very special thank you to those of you who've sent me PayPals, Ko-fis, bought me Ko-fis, sent super stickers. In fact, I'm going to put that, and I've been very blessed over the Christmas period, which has made a big difference to me. I can't express enough to those of you who bought Ko-fis and sent PayPals, etc. Makes a massive difference, to me, in every way, in obviously a financial way. So thank you for the Ko-fis, and thank you for the PayPals that people have sent me. So not only in a financial way that it makes a difference, but also it just makes me, it's nice comments that people put on the Ko-fis that they send by, or the PayPals that they send, and make me feel like it's all worth it. Doing a true crime channel sometimes can be depressing, obviously, because we don't talk about cheerful things most of the time. But, when people send me nice messages and tell me to keep going, and things like that just make such a big difference. So thank you to those of you who leave nice comments. Thank you to those of you who send me emails. Don't forget to send in your nomination for Twonk of the Year. So New Year's Eve, we will have a New Year's sort of party type thing, and we'll be discussing Twonk of the Year. A lot of candidates this year, but I'm going to give you a little spoiler alert. There is one person who is really, but virtually everyone is voting for. So, Twonk of the Year. Send me in your nominations. Please say why you think that person should be Twonk of the Year. Every nomination will be discussed in the programme. And then at the end, either the number of votes, or we'll have a poll to decide who wins the infamous Twonk of the Year award. So I'm going to come into the chat now. I'm going to say hello first of all to my lovely lurkers. Thank you for watching. Hi to Replay Crew. Thank you for watching. I hope you all had a good Christmas, or at least a bearable, tolerable Christmas. I know not everybody will have had a good Christmas. And then we've got New Year, of course. And for me, living in Spain, we have then also got the Three Kings on the 5th and 6th of January. So there's still a long way to go yet with celebrations in Spain. So coming into the chat now. Hi, Daniel. Happy Tuesday. Gosh, Tuesday already. Hi, Tracy. And hi, Musli. Thank you for joining in the chat. I know not everybody likes to put their head over the parapet, but thank you for doing that and joining in with me. So this poor girl, what do you all think is going to happen? Is this girl, is David going to be indicted? Do you think David did it? Do you think he killed her? Because of course there's speculation that it might not have been him. It might be his manager or another person close to him who just had the keys to the car, or it might have been him in conjunction with them. But as I say, the one thing we do know is poor Celeste is deceased, and it's very sad to see that cross around her neck, which unfortunately did not keep her safe from these predatory people. So according to TMZ, David will likely face murder charges for the death of Celeste Rivas. And that's because the grand jury that's hearing the case will be asked to hand down an indictment. There was a report last month that the grand jury, so there is a grand jury currently meeting, but of course all the results so far are secret. So there was a report last month that the grand jury was an investigative grand jury, a grand jury that helps authorities gather evidence, but one that does not indict. But an investigative grand jury can be useful to subpoena and then force uncooperative witnesses to testify. So although it seemed to start off that David was being cooperative, lately they've been saying that he's not being cooperative. And where is he? Where is this man? Anyway, according to TMZ, our sources say that the grand jury that has been hearing witnesses in the Celeste Rivas murder is actually one that will vote on indictments. And multiple sources tell TMZ that authorities, including prosecutor Beth Silverman, believe that David was involved in the death of Rivas. Celeste, they're calling her by her surname. Look, the dog's photobombing. Oh, Riley, you like to photobomb the videos, don't they? Riley does like, you're going to say hello, you're going to say hello. He does like to say hello, don't you? As soon as I'm on a live, he's there. Oh, he's had his little, oh no, you want to come back up or no, stay down there now, stay down there. Now there was let me just refresh this actually, because they've got a couple of interesting videos on here. Let's have a look. So the prosecutor is Beth Silverman. She's supposed to be a very, very good prosecutor. So let's have a look at this video.
It is not looking good for the singer David. From everything we now know, it is very likely, if not all but certain, that he is going to be indicted by a Los Angeles County grand jury for the presumed murder of Celeste Rivas.
So when is it going to happen? I wonder if it'll happen after in the new year. Maybe they're getting the new year out of the way. Maybe the grand jury's not sitting over Christmas and the new year. So maybe there's been a bit of a postponement that way. And then after New Year celebrations, will it be almost, David must be sat bloody, worrying, because he must know that he's going to be arrested at some point. And he's just sitting around waiting for the knock on the door, really, I presume. Well, depending on where he is, I have no clue where he is. And I look at Celeste. She looks older than her years, doesn't she? She looks like she's got the whole weight of the world on her shoulder. I haven't seen a photo of her where she looked happy. She looks, she looks like someone who's being abused, to be honest. To me, her eyes are sort of empty, aren't they? It's a shame. She's got that beautiful hair. She's a very attractive girl, and she's got herself involved, manipulated. And it is manipulation, because at the end of the day, if she was 13 when she first started seeing him and he's a grown man, that is abuse, not a relationship, is it? So, but her eyes always look very sad and haunted. This
is a grand jury that has been convened since more than just over a month, at least. about a month ago.
Almost
more than that.
2 months.
Right.
So 2 months. This they do this funny reporting, TMZ. I mean, I don't know. It's very informal, isn't it? It's very informal, but they do seem to get all the scoops. They do seem to get all the information before everybody else, you know, for whatever reason. So in these sort of cases, anyway, that involve anything to do with singers, actors, etc., they do seem to get the information first, but they look totally pissed off, don't they? Maybe they're annoyed at being called in over their Christmas holidays or whatever, you know, if they celebrate Christmas. I don't know what religion they are. But yeah, they don't look very happy, do they? But I suppose, how happy can you look when you're reporting on something like this?
And that initially, what we had heard is that this was an investigative grand jury, that they were just subpoenaing different people to get testimony, hoping to help police with their investigation.
That was based on a newspaper report.
Right. And what we have now been told, no, this is a grand jury looking to indict someone for the murder of Celeste Rivas. And
so after believing initially it was just to collect evidence, now they're saying, and there's a lot. The problem is when law enforcement aren't open with what's going on, which probably if David is indicted, they will become more open, maybe. People fill it in, don't they? They fill in the void because there's no official information. There's been nothing about Celeste really officially. It's all been from newspapers, magazines, people like TMZ, other podcasters, YouTubers, you know, which in the best will in the world. I'm not saying they're being disrespectful, because a lot of them are very respectful to Celeste, but it's still not official information, is it? So in the absence of official information, people tend to make it up, don't they?
We know who the someone is.
And that someone.
David is squarely in the crosshairs of the person who is going to be prosecuting the case. Her name is Beth Silverman. She is, you know, there's a lawyer in town named Marty Singer. We always call him the legal pit bull. She is every bit
the DA's version
every bit
of
that.
the legal pit bull.
Yes. And she has been, as a matter of fact, Alexa, come over here for a second.
We know.
Good, I'm glad she's a legal pit bull. Did you see him just click his fingers to call that girl over? That's a bit thingy, isn't it? Oh, come over here, come over here. You know, not the best way to call somebody over. One of your minions, maybe, but it's still a person.
That she's been, some of the people that she's been grilling.
Coming over.
And they're all, do we have a boom mic over?
Yeah. So Alexa has been down at the grand jury room for a couple of weeks now. And they're in a recess right now for the holiday. But you saw the manager of David, the day-to-day manager, going in and out. And when he came out and talked to his lawyer, he made it clear that Beth Silverman was rabid about this case.
Yeah, Robert Morgan Roth, obviously David's day-to-day manager, been seen with him a lot on tour. He kind of poked at that. He told Beth that he really didn't feel like it was his responsibility.
Well, she said, why didn't you call the cops? She said this to him when he was testifying. Why didn't you call the cops?
Yeah, and he explains that Beth was very pushy.
So, yeah, apparently the manager at some point said that this Beth Silverman, the prosecutor had said to him, why didn't you call the cops? And as this guy, I don't know what his name is actually, is going to say, why would she say that? What would be a reason to call the cops? What was she talking about? We don't know what she was actually referring to. You know, what, maybe saw something suspicious, maybe noticed that Celeste wasn't around anymore, maybe saw blood somewhere, you know, I don't know, maybe wondered what the incinerator was bought for. But so Beth Silverman, the prosecutor, apparently said to him, why didn't you ring the police? So he's been there testifying. Now, if he's got nothing to do with the actual death of Celeste, he's going to want to make that clear, isn't he? He's not going to want to be dragged into it if he's an innocent man.
She on getting that answer out of Robert. But he said it wasn't his responsibility and that he just wanted to continue.
And again, we don't know what the question was before that led to her saying, why didn't you call the cops?
Or something he had said.
Right.
But
Right.
it's
Or something
clearly
he
a
said.
crime because you call the
Right.
cops when
Well,
there's a crime.
Right.
So
she believes there was a crime.
there was something that Morgenroth apparently knew, because he acknowledges it's not my responsibility. Something he knew that triggered Beth Silverman into saying, well, why didn't you call the cops? So it had to be something involving a crime. Now, we know that her body was found in his Tesla in a bizarre set of circumstances where in the spring, he made this mysterious trip, David did, to Santa Barbara and spent a couple of hours in the middle of the night.
Right.
And then came back.
And keep in mind, and of course, the car was found very close to the home that he had been renting. I mean, everything from day one.
I mean, just the thing is, I think when a body's found in the front of your car, in the front or the back or the boot or anywhere in your car, you'd be very hard pushed to say you had nothing to do with it. Because even if, you know, you didn't put the body in that car, you'd be saying, where's my car? Where's my car? You know, if somebody, like my car's parked outside right now, and if that car disappeared tomorrow, first thing I'd be doing is reporting it as stolen to the police, wouldn't you? My car's disappeared from outside my house. So that's what David, even if he had nothing to do with putting Celeste's body in there, surely he'd be saying, he'd have reported the fact that his car had disappeared. But he didn't report his car has disappeared. His car was towed off. Now, I don't know, but I would imagine it takes a while before a car is towed away, is it? You know, surely it wasn't just parked there one day and then it got towed away. And, you know, unless it was actually in, you know, an illegal place, like parked where cars couldn't get round it or whatever. You know, cars are not if cars are parked legitimately. We had a car not near round. Every time I took number one son to work, we would drive past this car and say, oh, the car's still there, the car's still there. Really nice car. It could have had a body in the back, I suppose, because it was like a sports car, just parked up there. I went and tried the door anyway. It was locked. And inside, it just looked like someone had just got out the car. There was a bottle of water in there. You know, it just looked like somebody had just left it there. And it was there for months. Then the police tape was put over it. And like they give you a warning, like, you know, if you don't collect this car, it's going to be taken away. Anyway, I noticed the last time I drove up that way, it had finally disappeared. So the police have probably towed it off, I would imagine, unless the owner came back. You know, it could have been someone that just left it there to go back to their country for a while, because it's parked in an area where a lot of expats live and people from different countries, not just the UK. So somebody could have left it parked. It was parked in a legitimate parking space, but it was quite an odd place. It wasn't near houses really or anything. Anyway, it's gone. So whether the owner has come back and taken it or whether it's been towed away to a car pound like David's was. But so basically what I'm trying to say is, if your car disappears, first of all, you're going to report it as stolen. And you're going to want to know where it is. And this car was registered in his name, so it would have been easy to find, I would imagine, especially for someone like David, you know, you just get your aides on it, wouldn't you? You get your entourage. You must have someone who deals with the nuts and bolts of things for you. I can't imagine David doing all his legwork for, you know, sort of just like bureaucratic things. I'm sure he had somebody doing that for him. So he never queried where his car was. And then there was another thing I thought was, did he deliberately leave it to be towed away because he thought it would get crushed and that would hide Celeste's body? Is that possibility? Anyway, that will all come out in the wash as the case goes on, I presume. I mean, he's not even been arrested yet.
renting from the lease was under the name of the co-manager who was in Morgan Roth's company.
Right. So it's all kind of aligning.
It's
here.
all around David. I mean, as they say, like it's closing in. The walls, if you're David, you've got to feel like the walls are closing in on you because the people that they've brought before this grand jury, plus everything that we know about the case already, that lines up around him.
And grand juries,
the old adage is you can indict a ham sandwich. They are going to listen to what the prosecutors present as evidence. And even if this started in some investigatory fashion,
I don't think it didn't.
It probably didn't, but this can morph into something they're going to hand down an indictment. That's what grand juries typically do. You can go on this fishing expedition and investigate, but typically their job is to hand...
We've confirmed this now.
Yeah.
Multiple sources. It was never an investigative grand jury.
Right. Totally understand. So now their job is to take what evidence is presented to them, even with witnesses who may be combative, and hand down an indictment. Whether that is murder or something else, we don't know that yet, or what degree of murder you're going to have.
We do know this. The cops have said, sources within the police department have told us, they are treating this as a murder, as is the DA. So they are looking at this as a murder, and they are looking at David as their primary suspect.
This grand jury, look, they may not even need to come back. We don't know.
They could do it much earlier. There's a hearing, I believe, scheduled for February.
Right. And in January. Right.
I don't think they're going to rush.
But they could. Well,
that's the thing. It's just so
they've taken it very carefully this far. They don't want to botch it at this at the 5 yards.
Right, just hang on a sec. Oh, gosh, sorry, I'm right in the middle of a video, sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, look at that. Oh, thank you, so sweet. Oh,
Your Christmas gift, yeah?
oh, listen, happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Hopefully see you in close hopefully see you in the new year. Okay. All right.
Stories.
Right, brilliant.
My day of work. It's just.
Oh, good. Oh, thank you so much, Harry. Oh, thank you. I will.
Drunk at once.
I'll try not to. Thank you.
Right,
Oh, sorry, I'm right in the middle of a video.
That's okay.
Okay.
See you in the new year.
Okay, bye.
there's something I know. I don't think that
Right, so sorry.
February witness
Let me just
is
stop
essential
that.
based on.
No, you know what it's like. Whenever I do a live, there's always chaos. So that was one of my students bringing me. Let me show you. Oh God, the dogs are still. Just always chaos whenever I do a live. I'm going to have to stop doing lives, I think. They brought me a bottle of wine in a lovely little Santa thing. So that's nice. My students are the best. They really are. Lovely people. I'm very blessed. Okay, bye, Tracy. So, have a good day at work. So sorry, let me just rewind that a bit because
they're going to rush.
But they
things.
could. They
But
well.
that's the thing, it's just so unclear.
They've taken it very carefully this far.
There's
They don't want to botch it at this at the 5 yard line.
There's something I know. I don't think that February witness is essential based on, I can't say what I know, but I don't think that witness is essential. So they may wait until then, but they may not. I mean, they could come in at whatever point. And
They could. Why not belt and suspenders? They've been so careful and they've taken so much heat for being so slow and deliberate about this process. I wonder whether they will go through all of the motions. I don't know. You have more.
now, he is not the only suspect. There are people they believe helped him.
Right.
And
In particular, the
Yeah, so it's important to remember that David is not the only suspect. Could he have done it on his own if it was him? Why did he make that mysterious trip? Where's the murder weapon? Oh, you know, there's so many questions to be answered here. So first of all, was David even involved? And if he was he involved? Did other people help him, or was he the only person? So they're talking about this February case. I don't think it's going to go till February. I don't know. I feel that as soon as New Year is over, we might see an arrest here. I hope so.
Night he went to Santa Barbara.
Right. And based on what I've been told, I think there's going to be at least one other person who's going to be indicted for this.
Hello, I'm Melodak. I'm from Spring Hill, Florida. And finally, David is on a shopping list to get charged for Celeste's murder, possibly, because it's still not for certain. We know his manager testified, and I feel like in the beginning, they were trying to pin all of this on the manager for him to take the downfall, but I truly feel this was a multi-person operation. I think David was involved, and I think his manager and possibly even other people. It's just crazy that it has taken this long for them to get this far, and for there still not to be an arrest, just the possibility of an arrest.
Well, you got to think about the circumstances here, that it is a tangled web, of going to Santa Barbara. And then if you're in Santa Barbara, why is the body ending up in a car in Los Angeles by his home?
Dismembered.
Dismembered. So there is.
Yeah, so when he went all the way to Santa Barbara, why did he not take Celeste there? Or maybe he did take Celeste there. Did he decide not to dispose of her there? Yeah, why leave her there in the car just to be picked up by the impound people? Was it because he was hoping that the car would get flattened? But surely you would know the car's registered in his name. I mean, I don't know. My impression would be when you take a car to an impound, they look up the registration number and see whose car it is. Don't they ever contact the people and say, look, we've got your car. If you want it back, you've got to come and pay us such and such. Don't really know what the procedure is, or do they just leave it there and then it's up to you to come? Because they charge, don't they, for every hour, every day that your car is in impound, you have to pay for it. And so, if you didn't find out where your car was for a week, you've got to pay a week's impound fees. So maybe they don't look for the person, maybe because they make money that way. When the person finally tracks down their car, they say to them, right, here's your bill, and you've got to pay this bill before you can pick your car up. So he's certainly right there when he says it's a tangled web. It's a very, very tangled web, isn't it? And so much to come out here, and David's not cooperating. But I'll tell you what, that's because he's not been arrested yet. I mean, once either he's arrested or his manager or whoever's arrested, and it's made clear to them that there's evidence against them, we'll see who starts being cooperative then. Once they get a lawyer and they realise, maybe it's in their interest to be cooperative, otherwise they're going to be the one that's going to get the book thrown at them. Maybe they'll all start, throwing shade at each other.
There's a lot to unpack here, and I don't think this has been a particularly long time. But remember, with the grand jury, David doesn't testify. He doesn't. First of all, they could call him, but he's going to take the fifth. But
there's no one refuting the evidence.
That's right.
That the prosecutors are presenting.
That's right.
Why the ham sandwich can get indicted.
That's exactly right.
So there you are. I just wanted to bring you up to date. There's a definite lack of information. There's a definite lack of information in this case, certainly from, official information. We've really received zilch, nada, nothing officially. You know, that's just the way it is. So poor Celeste. As I say, the one thing that we do know is this beautiful young girl, though very sad looking girl. Out of all the photos that I've seen of Celeste, she never really smiling or looking happy. Is she? You know, I'm just going to have a look now at the photos, the images on Google. Yeah, she's let me just show you this. Very serious girl for, you know, for a young girl. Sad, very sad. So you don't feel like, it doesn't look like she's had a happy life. You know, short life. Never really see her smiling properly. She looks very serious. Just makes you wonder, was there domestic abuse going on between with David? No, she's not actually smiling on any of these photos, bless her. You know, she gets this, the most you get is this sort of enigmatic half smile, like a Mona Lisa type smile. Very sad, very, very sad. So I'd definitely be saying a prayer for Celeste, bless her. Just doesn't look like she was happy, does she? You know, even though she was seeing this guy who, I'm sure she thought she was in love with him. I'm sure she thought she was in love with him, a lot older than her. Suppose he's handsome if you sort of like that sort of thing. To me, I just can't get over the way he talks in his pseudo-intellectual way. You know, and that's obviously because of my age. You know, I'm different person to Celeste. But I can see that young girls would be impressed by him with his big words and his, you know, thinks he's all that. But yeah, very sad. Poor Celeste. And her family. So condolences to the family. They've just had to face Christmas without Celeste. I mean, we can see it's quite a complicated family relationship. It seemed that, you know, Celeste has been described as a troubled teen, that she had run away from home before. That's perhaps why she wasn't reported missing so soon as maybe another young girl would have been, you know, if she'd had a history of running away, possibly. But again, we don't really know all these details yet. These are all things that we hear, but until somebody is indicted and it comes towards a court case, we won't find out all the information about this poor young girl. But one thing we do know, this girl was murdered, and she was 13 or 14 years old when she was murdered, and nobody's been even arrested yet. So let's hope that soon we will get answers about this. So thank you for watching. I'll see you really soon in the next video. Prayers for Celeste, and until then, may your God go with you. Bye.
Oh, you Vicky Marie, you're so dream, you're so bold. Your YouTube world is the pure